Mic check, mic check, mic check. What's going on YouTube? This is Sleeky Ratings. We're going to be talking about Shrek today in this video. I figured I'd talk about Shrek just due to the recent releases of trailers and whatnot for Shrek 5 and a lot of controversy behind it. So I figured, why don't we do the Shrek ranking list. So let's kick things off, alright? This is going to be a shorter video probably compared to my other ones. So let's get into it. So I recently made a couple TikToks about Shrek. I have talked about my gripes with Shrek 5 and what I'm worried about, and I'll talk about in this video. And I released my top 5 Shrek movies. At the 4th spot, because technically there's only 4 movies released right now. The 5th one, whenever it comes out, we'll do a whole nother review on that. 4th spot, I'm going to have to give it to Shrek 3. The main villain in that is Prince Charming. Not gonna lie, the movie's kind of mid. Honestly, there's certain things I only remember about it just because it's not that remarkable. I just wasn't a huge fan of this film, and it seems like, from what I at least see on my For You page, it seems like a lot of people would agree. I feel like Shrek 3 is just kind of mid. And 3rd spot, I'm gonna have to give it to Shrek 2. It has a good soundtrack, good plot, good villain, aka Fairy Godmother. That's when we meet Puss in Boots. It is a great movie. I am not denying that at all, but I feel like the other 2 spots are just a little bit better than that. I just think Shrek 2 was a great film overall, but I can't give it the 1st or 2nd spot. I'm sorry. I know that may be controversial. I know some people might not agree. A couple comments that people weren't agreeing on my TikTok. It's just, it is what it is. Like, Shrek 2 has a great soundtrack, and I always get into debates with people in person. Like, yeah, Shrek 2 had a great soundtrack, but it's nothing compared to Shrek 1, at least in my opinion. In the first one, you got Hallelujah, you got I'm a Believer. Yes, Shrek 2 has the little puppets when they do that song. I forget what that song's called. But regardless, I'm just going to say Shrek 2 is a great film, but I'm going to have to put in the 3rd spot. That's just how it's going to have to be. The 2nd spot is going to go to Shrek 4. The villain is Rumpelstiltskin. Yeah, I think that's how you say it. I always had trouble ever since I was little saying that name. Shrek 4, okay, I gave that to the 2nd spot because it was such a cool concept. It was a different experience than what the other ones were. Yeah, Fairy Godmother had like potions and stuff like that. The 4th one talked about, Shrek going back to his past because now he has a family. He's like, oh, I just want to be an ogre again. He goes back, but then he has to like try to save love again. So he tries to find a breach in the contract, all this stuff. Rumpelstiltskin takes over. It's a whole thing. It's a great movie. I love the concept. Honestly, the soundtrack in my mind, if I remember correctly, it wasn't too remarkable. It wasn't something too, like, impressing. It's just, it is what it is. But Shrek 4, though, without a doubt, the concept alone made me give it the 2nd spot. But yeah, and that's just where I'm going to leave it at. Number 1 spot, it's going to the OG guys. It's going to the first Shrek. I know that might sound cliche, but as I said in my previous video, and once you start watching my channel a little more, you get to know and understand me. I'm a huge backstory guy. I love backstory. Yeah, it might be slow for some people, but backstories help establish the characters to which you are going to follow throughout movies, TV shows, or what have you. I just love the fact that in Shrek you get that. You get the relationship between Donkey and Shrek, how it started off not great, but then they come to like each other a lot. Fiona comes in the picture. The main villain is Laura Farquaad. That's pretty bomb itself. The amount of lines that we like remember from that film, the I object thing, like running into the church, or like I said, the I'm a Believer song or the Hallelujah song. The references Shrek makes about Donkey and like a lot of the it was a kids movie, but they made it like a lot of like sexual almost type comments in the film. But regardless, Shrek is one of those movies that I don't know about you guys, and if you want to leave me a comment down below, I greatly appreciate it. Shrek is one of those things where I would sometimes go back and rewatch from time to time again just because it's such a great film. And they kept it, they followed the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid, right? It's a simple story about going to a castle, rescuing a princess. Granted, Shrek was doing it for Lord Farquaad so he can get his land back, so he didn't have anyone there just besides him. But it was a simple story. They go do that. They meet the dragon. Dragon and Donkey fall in love. Some crazy stuff going on. But regardless, it was a simple concept. Nothing crazy. They didn't reinvent the wheel. They didn't do anything. It was just a simple. And honestly, it's the OG film, guys. It set the standard. There's a lot of good movies that came out when we were kids, like Toy Story and all of them, but Shrek was just a little bit different in my mind. And honestly, Shrek, for cartoon animation style, I would probably put Shrek in the top category. It is in the discussion of the top for being one of the best films, like as like a kid, cartoon movies. Yeah, like I said, Toy Story is great and all too, but I don't know, guys. I think I'm gonna have to. That might be a video I'm gonna have to make. I don't know. You guys let me down in the comments below what you think because I think Shrek definitely is in the discussion of being one of the top dogs. Overall, the whole series, it's great. I mean, the only one was kind of a letdown with Shrek 3, but they came back with that in Shrek 4. They came back with that energy they once had in Shrek 1 and Shrek 2 with Shrek 4. But I know people are going to be like, well, then why would you put 2 below 4? Well, as I mentioned earlier, 4 just had such a cool concept and it was something different. They had a different concept with 2, yes, but it's literally a continuation off from 1, which isn't bad by any stretch. I mean, that kind of helps the movie out a lot, like to understand where everything picked up. And 4 did the same thing as well with 3, but 3 was so mid that the fourth one came, and you're like, huh, okay, this is really cool. I like this a lot. Some people might not agree. Hey, this is a sleeky rating. Shrek and Fiona falling in love, true love's first kiss, all that cutesy whatever nonsense. If I had to give them a rating, okay, beside like not the ranking, the rating, Shrek 3, give that a 6 out of 10. Not gonna lie, it's not that great. It's kind of mid. Shrek 2, on the other hand, I'll probably give that 8 out of 10. That's a solid film. Shrek 4, I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. The only reason why I gave it that 0.5 is because it was a cool concept, different villain, Rumpelstiltskin, and kind of created the new concept of they have to go back in time. Shrek has to fix what he undid just because it shows kind of poetically that you might want to go back in time so you can fix it, so you can just have this little peace of mind, like what he just wanted to just be an ogre again. Well, then he come to realize by doing something small like that, he sacrificed the greater good. He sacrificed what he truly cared about, which was his family. Adorable, I know. Regardless, I'll give it 8.5 out of 10 for that. The OG itself, I'm gonna give that probably a 9.5 out of 10. It was near perfect. I loved it. I love the soundtrack. Besides the soundtrack, I mean, it's a very simple concept, very easy to understand for most people. That was the movie when we were kids. It's a great film. I'm giving that a 9.5 out of 10. Guess I would say is that now that I think about being an adult, when you give, some of those lines in there aren't very child friendly. Like I said, there's a lot of some of the sexual lines in there between Shrek, Donkey, and her. Yeah, some of the lines in there aren't necessarily child friendly. So maybe I would say that. I mean, at the time when I was a kid, I watched it. I never thought of that. Maybe my parents didn't think much of it. I'm kind of in the same boat, not being an adult. Like, eventually if I have a kid, we're still gonna watch it because it's a great film. They're still gonna watch it because it's a great film. But like, I'll at least know now as an adult. I'm like, that's probably something. You know what I mean? Like, I would get the reference, but maybe they wouldn't. You know what I mean? It's not like they're watching Family Guy where like it's blatantly obvious, like, oh, it's inappropriate for at least kids. Maybe I don't know. I still watched as a kid, but you get what I'm saying, right? Like, it's one of those things where we understand as adults like those lines like that's it's that kind of reference, but they wouldn't understand it, so it's kind of like subtly thrown in there. Yeah, regardless, 9.5 out of 10 overall. The series, I'm gonna give the series, I'll bring that average. It's gonna be around um overall the series average, I'm just gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10, just overall. But that'd be the appropriate average calculation? No, but in my mind, what I'm thinking between what we're giving Shrek 4, Shrek 3, Shrek 2, and the OG Shrek. I mean, obviously OG Shrek takes a spot. Shrek 2 was solid. Shrek 4 is solid. I mean, guys, I don't know how many times I can freaking say it, but that's basically about it with that. Now let's talk about Shrek 5. I made a video on that on my TikTok page. If you haven't, go check it out. I'll put my description down below. I kind of went on a tiny bit of a rant, but like I am so, I'm one of those people who I don't like to judge a book by its cover, especially movies and TV shows, because I could sit here and say, oh, that's not going to be great, but then turn out to be great. I always used to think Breakfast Club, I'm like, oh, it's going to be a stupid film, slow, whatever. No, I truly love Breakfast Club. It's a classic. But I was kind of worried about Shrek 5 because especially all the new videos we were seeing recently coming from the big things like Fandango or whatever, and what the production company's releasing. Let's kick things off. Okay, first of all, I'm worried for the animation. I think all these other Shreks have bad guys. Like Lord Farquaad, Prince Charming, Fairy Godmother. I think Shrek 5 is the animation team. I mean, I know that's cheesy to say, but I truly think it is, just because the fact that I just want them to follow the KISS method. Keep it simple, stupid. They don't need to reinvent the wheel. Okay, if they're trying to fix the issues that the previous Shreks face, just fix the wheel. Put some patches on it. Reinflate the tire. Make sure the tread's good. Like, let's roll. You know what I mean? I just don't think changing the whole animation, because even at the time when Shrek first came out, the animation was pretty solid on that. Okay, is it Avatar level, like the Avatar with the 80k 80k resolution? No, but it was solid. I don't think why I don't get why they just can't keep using that, or maybe tweak it a little bit. I mean, they're almost changing the whole look of Donkey, the whole look of Shrek, and all that. Like, they're trying to make it like, oh, look at this, we could be above the times with our animation. But there is a fine line in my mind that you're going between being the perfect, like how the other Shrek films were, and then this is being too much. Okay, perfect example. You got Grinch, the newer Grinch film. I did not like the animation. I'll compare it. Now, granted, the old one, yes, way different, but like they just took it to a whole nother level. Like, they went from full left to full right. Second one, Scoob. Scoob was a decent. It's the newer Scooby Doo film. If you guys haven't seen it, it's okay. I kind of liked it. Scoob is a decent film, but they took the animation a little too far in my mind. Again, keep it simple, stupid. It doesn't need to go above and beyond. Now, granted, like Sonic is a really, really prime example. I've been seeing a lot of people comparing it to Sonic. Dude, they were making they were making it sing like it was cracked out. Enough people signed this petition that they reverted Sonic back to the OG style animation, which I'm glad they did, because this new Sonic looked like it was getting like absolutely insane. It reverted back to the original, and I'm hoping they do that with Shrek, because this new animation with Shrek is this. It's going to be wild if they do that. Zendaya's going to be in the film. That's going to be awesome. So I guess I should say she's going to be doing a voiceover. But there's a couple. I like her in Spider-Man. Obviously, I like her in Euphoria. So it'll be interesting to see her as a new character. But other than that, though, yeah, I mean, that's basically going to be it for Shrek 5. Obviously, we don't know yet, and like I said, I'm not gonna try to judge a book by its cover just yet. I am worried for the animation. I don't know, maybe we'll see something great. It's gonna come out December 2025. Give it a shot. I'll go see it in the theaters, and I'll probably release a video on that. But yeah, that's gonna be it for today, guys. So if you have any comments, concerns, whatever, drop them down below. Drop me a like, drop me a follow, and go check out my TikTok page as well, Sleeky_ratings. Really appreciate it, guys. Take care. I'm out.